leads me to our featured story of the night. I don't want to give him shit, but I want to talk about the Batman. We started early, we got to get into the Batman now. So the Batman, number 2. It's coming out, of course. It's still happening under the Elseworlds thing for James Gunn. But they've been talking about who's going to be in this, what's happening. We talked about before, Clayface will be the villainous. That's what they're saying right now, Clayface. But also, Harvey Dent is coming. Harvey, Harvey, Harvey. In the words of the Joker back in the day. But Harvey Dent's coming. And now they're down to 2 people, apparently. Josh Hartnett and Joel Edgerton are the ones they're down to play Harvey Dent in the Batman 2. And I want to put it out there because right now they're saying that Harvey Dent will just be a figure. He'll be the district attorney, as you saw in, back in the original Batman back in the 80s. Like, you didn't have Billy D. Williams becoming Harvey Dent or becoming Two-Face. He was Harvey Dent, but didn't get there. He was supposed to get there, and the third one didn't happen, so it never happened. But for this, they're establishing
Tommy Lee
Harvey
Jones
Dent.
happened.
Tommy Lee Jones did happen. Aaron Eckhart did happen. And they're saying at the end of the Batman 2, you might see him become Two-Face, but they haven't confirmed it yet. They said you might see him become that. But we're down to 2 actors right now, Hartnett and Edgerton. And the question is, who do we think is the best Harvey Dent? Or, based on their performances, what do we think would be the best person to play this? Because we're down to 2. So, Sabrina, who do you think you would like to see as Harvey Dent?
I wish it was Drunk Friday so I could make you drink. I
would thing.
I have to say, with like all of my hopes and dreams of a Harvey Dent were filled with Aaron Eckhart. He was amazing. I loved him.
So
I
good.
think he did a great job. Like, and in his own right, Tommy Lee Jones did a great job. It was a much more over the top situation as it should have been in that time, in that world. But I really, really, really enjoyed Aaron Eckhart's portrayal of Harvey Dent / Two-Face. In this instance, I feel like I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with. Do I have to say it? Josh Hartnett. I'm doing Josh Hartnett. I'm going with Josh Hartnett. I'm doing it all day. They look strikingly similar in the pictures you keep putting up, which is super weird to me because in my mind, I never thought that they looked similar before. But I feel like Josh Hartnett's making a comeback. He's an Oppenheimer.
Oh yeah, he totally is.
He just did an episode. Yeah, he did an episode of Black Mirror. He's in Guy Ritchie's Operation Fortune that just came out in April on Prime, I believe it was. So he's making a resurgence, and I fully put in my chips for him. He also, this is a super weird fun fact, was in talks with Nolan to do Christian Bale's Batman. Like they wanted him to do Batman, and
such a better.
And he said no. He said no. He said no. He wanted to do The Prestige instead, which was Jonathan Nolan's movie. Like, it was like this whole weird thing that he was asked.
Prestige was still Christopher Nolan.
Was a really good movie. So.
Oh, it was? I thought it was Jonathan. Didn't Jonathan write it?
Well, he might have written it, but Christopher Nolan still directed The Prestige.
Yeah. Right. Well,
because Christian Bale wasn't.
Right, but that was the whole thing. So Josh Hartnett's pitch
is like one of the only Nolan films I actually like. So.
Josh Hartnett's pitch was, can I not do Batman and can I do The Prestige? And they were like, we'll use Bale for both and kindly go fuck yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
However, he did finally work with him in Oppenheimer, and now this is obviously not a Nolan film, but I'm not a fan of the Batman, and I don't think I'm gonna be a fan of the Batman 2. So I feel like it doesn't really fucking matter. But if I was gonna pick a character to play that part, it would be Josh Hartnett.
I think he could be good.
Does he do whisper acting? I just need to know if he does whisper acting.
Well, he's
gonna need to. Penny Dreadful, a little bit of whisper acting.
Yes, he whispers a little bit. He was good at Penny Dreadful.
He better do whisper acting, because if you want to be in The Batman or The Batman 2, you have to whisper act. That's the only thing they like.
You have to whisper. Lexi, what do you think? Do you think that who you behind? There's two people here. What do you think?
Hartnett all day. I've always been a
Yeah.
big Josh Hartnett fan. I grew up with him, And when I saw that he was an option, I was like, oh fuck yeah. I haven't seen him act in a while, and I always thought he was good when he was younger, and he had a lot of potential to like do serious acting, but he didn't always like they always put him in teen shit, and they always put him in these like like was that one disturbing behavior and shit like that. Like it was those things like that. So I always think of him like the faculty and like things like that.
Oh yeah, the faculty.
More serious roles, and so it's the Josh Hartnett that I think a lot of people think of, like that kind
He
of
was
stuff
great.
more so.
Sin City, he was great in.
I think of him like aging up now, and now he's like an older actor, and I was like, he could definitely take on some more serious older guy roles for sure. I think he's like at that point now, and so when you're like, yeah, Harvey Dent, and I'm like, oh, he's perfect for that. Like that's a really good casting, and so I was like, this could be the role that could really like revive his career, bring him back up there, because it's like just enough like in the like fun area, like comic book stuff, where it's like you know light enough that like it's Josh Hartnett could work for it. Like it's not too serious, you know what I mean? But it's Batman, which is like the serious comic book shit. So it's like it's still like a good serious role for somebody like him. It's a good middle ground for somebody who did a lot of teen work and then is moving into like more adult work, but still like, knows their demographic, so to speak, if you know what I'm saying with that.
Yeah,
Like
also disappearing for so long too.
H20, like, or H2O or whatever, like the Halloween movies, like that kind of those kind of references, like
40 Days and 40 Nights.
So yeah, it's like it's that kind of thing, like where
I'm gonna call you Tony Soprano from now on with the ducks.
Yeah.
Lexi Soprano coming in hot.
It's like
Lexi Soprano.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's one of those kind of things where like I feel like he's aged up enough that this is perfect for him to give him the potential to move on to more serious work after this. Because if he can ace Harvey Dent, then he can start doing like, Scorsese and shit like that. You know what I mean?
I think
that's definitely a big jump up on the ladder, but I appreciate your support of him. That's good. Listen, Josh Hartnett, if you nail Harvey Dent, you can be in Scorsese. Do it. Do it.
Harvey.
Do us proud.
It's not the Joker. It's a more serious role. You know what I'm saying?
I know. It's so much
more grounded serious. In reality. It's a more grounded in reality role than something like
100%.
When you comes Two-Face, shut the fuck up.
Can you not hear Jared?
And Joel Edgerton's good, but like I mean, honestly, I just see Hartnett just nailing it. I feel like this is like perfect for him right now.
Can you not hear Jared Leto saying Harvey? I'm just saying. Can you not hear it?
I can.
I hear it right now.
I can.
Just
I can 100%. But I think like when they're down to these two, I mean, of course, the Batman was supposed to be shooting, and of course, everything's delayed because of the writer's strike. But they were supposed to start shooting, and so these things are coming out though because they have more time for casting then and all that. But it was supposed to start in October, so we still have some time till that production date's supposed to start. And for this, I'm like, okay, this is great. We're hearing about these things. It's great they're introducing Harvey Dent. Like, why are we not introducing Harvey Dent? That's perfect for this. And of course, like you have to lead towards Two-Face, but I feel bad for Billy Ray because Billy D. Williams, he never got to be Harvey Dent, even though he was supposed to be. And then, of course, we talked about that before in the show, how they just stopped. They just stopped all that when they ended up switching over to Schumacher, and then they changed the whole Batman franchise, and he never got his chance to be Harvey. So, like, I think if you're going to put somebody in there, like, just have that at least push towards it, give him a chance. We don't know there'll be a Batman 2. We have no idea. But hopefully he becomes Two-Face before the end of that movie's end, because they'll probably have a 3.5-hour movie. There's enough time to turn him into Two-Face at the end, I would think. And that might be the end of it, because the way the DC universe is going, who knows if James Gunn will want to do more of the Batman as a Elseworlds thing when we're spinning off to do everything else in your own direction. But I agree with both of you.
That role, like, do you want that role as an actor? Like, hey, you could play Two-Face. Because it's like, that one, you have to be in one film. And you have to be in one film as Harvey Dent. There's no way you can't, because you can't tell the Two-Face story without establishing the Harvey Dent story first. It's a
100%.
completely necessary story because you have to establish Batman's relationship with Harvey Dent. They have to show their friendship because it's such a tragic like flip when he loses him as a friend because they were such close friends.
100%.
Really, so you really have to build that. It's so necessary to the story, and so you really need an actor that has the time to be able to do that there, and then has the ability to come back and do it again. And so, and also the film has to not fuck up and fail, and
fail
to like come back, and so it's like there's that whole entire thing. And I really think honestly, Nolan fucked the guy who
Aaron
Yeah, because why didn't he bring him back for the fucking third film? He should have made the third film that.
Can I tell you a fun story?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
When I worked on Dark Knight Rises, they were talking about Two-Face a little bit. And Nolan said that he actually was like writing the third one, and he was walking on the beach. He said randomly Aaron Eckhart like was running, and they like ran into each other. And he's like, it was like the weirdest thing. I can't imagine Nolan running, but he's probably walking, brooding, and then you know, and I can see Aaron Eckhart. You know, but he's probably wearing a suit. You know, he always wore a suit. Yeah. And Eckhart running up in his like workout gear, and he said they bumped into each other, and he stopped and he goes, "Hey man," they had a brief conversation. Like he's talking about this on set. He's like, "So am I gonna be in the next Batman movie?" And he just goes, "No." And that was it. So I don't know what happened that they wanted to change directions. I think because what happened was the idea was before that the Joker was gonna be like going to court in the third one, but then after we lost the Joker. After we lost him, it's like, how do you do the whole thing in the DA? How do you do the court stuff? You know what I mean? I feel like there was supposed to be something else happening.
You still
pleasure in going a different direction.
I think the worst thing you possibly could have done was go with the Bane direction. Like, and the thing is,
what? You don't like the fact that I'm talking to this?
Even if you're gonna do Bane, at least do Bane properly. Like, they didn't even do the character right. Like, at least
properly.
Like, why couldn't, like, he's a wrestler. Like, I don't understand, like, why they did what they did. He's got the Venom. I'm like, where's the Venom? I'm like, what is going on here? Like, what is this character? I don't understand anything that they've done here. I don't understand, like, what their choices were with Bane. And, like, if you wanted to do a Bane movie, that's fine, but at least follow the character properly, at least do a fourth film. Like, he's not a main character that you bring in. You were, like, on a path. You set a path. You were going to bring Catwoman in. You needed to do Harvey Dent. You needed to do Catwoman. That was perfectly fine. Yep. They all could have worked there. You could have brought the Penguin in if you wanted to bring a second.
I would love to see the Penguin.
Yes,
because
Queen.
there was plenty of potential there for that to work. You also could have brought Mad Hatter in. You could have brought any other secondary character. Scarecrow. Oh, you did Scarecrow. That's right. Scarecrow was in the first one.
Yeah, first one.
I'm just saying that there are plenty of those. You know who I personally would love to have seen was the guy who has the ventriloquist dummy, Scarface. Scarface is so cool.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot more psychological characters that you could have worked with, which is what he kind of was going with, instead of going with this neo-terrorist bullshittery, way too high-tech, way too advanced. Like, the whole point is Batman's a detective, and that he's
100%.
also kind of a psychologist. Like, it's like... So
detective.
Like, you gotta have that, like, I mean, the Arkham Asylum thing is, the whole point is he's dealing with mentally ill people, and he's always like bringing mentally ill people back to the mentally ill place. So it's like, that's the whole point of Batman, is that Batman battles psychological mental illness. Like, that's his character trait, is that he's battling mental illnesses. All of his characters that he battles are mental illnesses of some kind.
Mental illness, yeah.
So that's really what Batman is he's battling different forms of mental illness in different, like, exacerbated forms, right? So it's like, that's what you need to think of with him when you're doing those characters. So when you did Bane the way you did, you're not dealing with a mental illness anymore. You're taking that character and you're really dealing with somebody who really should be like wearing like a cop's uniform and dealing with like SWAT teams and this kind of shit. And it's like,
I feel like it was a scramble.
Element. Yeah.
I feel like it was a scramble, Lexi, because when Heath Ledger passed away, it's like it changed everything, you know, it just did. And then I guarantee the Joker would have been the third one, but then like, how do you recast? How do you deal with that? And then you change it up and you go back to the first one, you tie it back in, and then you make it a whole rounded story in a way. But I mean, it just sucks that Heath wasn't around to see if we would have had a different movie. I bet we would have a different movie though. And maybe Aaron Eckhart would have been there and then Two-Face would have been more prominent because I feel like Two-Face only got like a little bit in that Dark Knight movie. It was really the Joker. And Aaron Eckhart's a great actor, and I think he was a great choice for that role.
He did a great job.
Back. He did a great job. He's a great actor.
I personally think that all of Nolan's Batmans are shit. I think that Nolan's Batmans are the worst Batmans.
They have a special place in my heart.
I don't like militant Batman. I don't like Batman.
I'm sorry, wait. Did you say the worst Batmans? Did you see George Clooney's nipples or like Kurt Russell or was it Kurt Russell? What was the other guy?
All right.
I confused them too.
I'm sorry.
Kurt Russell and which the right one?
Kurt Russell. You're talking about
Batman. You're talking
Val
about
Kilmer?
Val Kilmer. Thank you. I confused
Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer?
I confuse them all the time. It's a personal brain fart. Like, don't be weird about it. I knew it was wrong, and I asked you to help me. I did this for 5 minutes.
I was just
the Val Kilmer one's not the worst.
Really bad. But George Clooney is literally the worst. Like, how dare we? You cannot say Christopher Nolan's Batmans are the worst.
The Clooney one's pretty. I never like.
He had nipples built into his suit. It was very strange.
Never leave home without him.
I don't like how militant they made Batman in the Nolan films, and I don't like it. There's too many guns. He's driving a tank. Everything about it goes too far. Like, I honestly, you want my Pattinson, even if you're not a fan of the actual film,
not a fan.
Where they went in the direction of that everything was right. So even if you're not necessarily a fan of the film itself, the visual aesthetics, his car was exactly what it should be. The costume was right. Everything was right. Everything was what it should be.
Sure, but was his character right? Was the fact that he had no difference between Bruce Wayne and Batman right? No, that's not what it's about.
He was always Batman.
An awful Batman. He was terrible. He was garbage. The best.
But I'm saying you can't just be what. Like, the whole point of the superhero shit is that there's one persona and another. And like Michael Keaton did that the best. He was like, I am Bruce Wayne. I have charities and parties, and I do this and I do that. And then he's like, and now I'm Batman, and I will fuck you up. Like, there was zero of that in Pattinson. Pattinson was like, I'm brooding and angry the entire time.
And Bat Keaton's coming back this week, everybody. Bat Keaton's back. Will it be good? We'll be back. Batman. All I gotta say is,
he used to be best Batman until I saw Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck's best Batman after that.
I love Ben Affleck.
Batfleck.
Literally, I didn't hear you say that. I was too busy complaining.
Because the most important thing is that you have to be able to play a good Bruce Wayne, and his Bruce Wayne is so good.
Thank you.
He's such a great Bruce Wayne.
He was the most charismatic.
He is Bruce Wayne.
Great Bruce Wayne. I was like, he was Bruce Wayne 100%, and I was like, this is what I want from my Batman.
This is what I'm saying.
He blew Keaton out of the water. I was like, he took the Keaton Batman and he took it to the next level, and I was like, yes.
But you could you could see the difference between the Batmans with Keaton like the most because he had 2 movies to show it. Ben Affleck had 5 minutes to fucking show it, and it fucking has an offshoot in a movie. So like that's why I say it.
Right.
Never has no movie.
I mean? Like but his Bruce Wayne was epic. And I loved him as Batman too. Like I'm in a very unpopular opinion. Like he is like one of my it's him and Michael Keaton. They're my 2 favorites.
I like Batfleck.
100%.
My 2 favorites. I'm in it.
I'm really bummed he never got his movie.
I'm sorry.
I'm really bummed he never got his movie. But
I was devastated.
Me too.
Devastated.
We might see Bat Clooney back this week, by the way, though. That's still the rumor out there.
That
the end credit scene is we get some bat nipples back. But that's Batman rumors. We'll find out this week. And we're going to find out who'll be Harvey Dent, because we're going to find out before we know it, because the Batman will start shooting very soon. Hartnett. I'm saying Hartnett too. Hartnett.
Cruise control bets on Hartnett. 100%.
Hartnett for life, everybody.
Cruise control.
Anyways. Get some Josh Hart in there. He deserves it. Harvey Dent. I believe in you, Hartnett, as Harvey Dent.